My family works in a factory. My family works on the farm. We work in the farms and the factories. Never work on a factory farm.
Hello and welcome to ILCorn TV. I'm your host, Shane Gray. Today we're joined by Cody Diekhoff. Cody's the son of a small-town Illinois farming community who travels the highways performing under the name of Chicago Farmer. Cody was raised in Delavan, Illinois, but currently resides in Bloomington. Each song reflects his small-town raising, yet his popularity reaches audiences of all types reflective of the Chicago culture. It has best been said that each track from Chicago Farmer captures a moment in time, whether it's for a person or a particular place. It's a pleasure to welcome Chicago Farmer to ILCorn TV. Welcome, Cody.
Thanks so much for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, this is always a pleasure for me. I love to interview and talk to musicians. I'm a big fan, love music. Wish I could sing it better, wish I could play it better, but I get a great deal of enjoyment out of just listening to it. So glad we can maybe go this route here. Hey, right off the bat here, reading your bio and listening to your playlist and stuff, your music seems to be deeply rooted in both small town Illinois life and has a lot of big city energy. How do those two worlds, or how do you get those two worlds to collide in such a great way?
Oh man, I guess I've just called both of them home. North of I-80 and south of I-80, they have their differences, but they have their comparisons as well. But growing up in my small town, that's what all the inspiration came from. First was my family and farming and small town roots. And I started writing songs in high school study hall. And then I took some money from baling hay and bought a guitar and started putting the poetry in motion. And
that sounds great.
Yeah, after I performed pretty much everywhere in Delavan, Illinois you can perform, I moved to Bloomington, and then I went to Chicago. So I kind of went from small town to medium size to the big city, and just writing about whatever I came across, really.
Oh, that's great. I know the last few days I've been listening to the playlist and really enjoyed it. And now that I know that you actually have some hay baling experience, I'll probably give you a call a little bit late this summer, see if you can make your way down to Waverly. We got a couple establishments here that love to have you bring the guitar, play a little bit, and we'll we'll allow you to earn a little bit extra money on the side out there in the hayfield.
As a musician, you could always use a little extra money, and being an original musician, you have to work harder too. And I remember baling hay. When I was baling hay, my cousins were like 6'5" and 6'6".
Oh boy!
And, I was about a measly 5'8" at the time. So just like I had to work a little harder in music, I had to work a little harder on the hay rack too. And
oh my!
Our grandfather did not drive slow like most grandfathers. He flew through that thing with on the back. So
get it done and get moved on to the next chore was probably the theory.
That's right.
Hey, being someone with farming roots, as you just explained, who also obviously lives in this musician's life, which for many of us would be a dream life. What parallels do you see between farming and pursuing a career in music, if any?
Oh, man. First of all, I suppose, the work ethic. I mean, nothing's going to get done if you don't get after it. I mean, things aren't going to plant themselves or grow themselves. And there's a lot of times like I'll try to avoid writing and avoid doing the things that, you need to do to be a successful musician. But if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. And just like a farmer that, kind of goes out on his own, I've kind of lived that same life going out on my own. I was a folk singer for a long time before I had a band, where it's just me and the guitar and me and my songs, and tackling the day just like a farmer would. So there's definitely some parallels, and just like the farming world and business has changed, the music business has changed also in the last 20 years tremendously. Absolutely. So you got to roll with it, though. That's what I'm trying to do.
How do you get a song, instead of just feeling or sounding like lyrics, how do you get a song to really be like a story that relates to people?
Well, my grandfather was a storyteller, and I feel like he's kind of in my roots, and that's kind of where I started the storytelling and music and personally as well. But I think everybody's kind of looking for something that's real, something that you can feel. There's a lot of
Right.
artificial things in the world today, and
Yeah.
and different aspects of life, and so um, that old school feeling. I'm getting older too, and I'm starting to reflect a lot back on simpler times of when I was a younger kid, and I'm so glad we didn't have all this technology when when I was a
Oh,
kid.
no
Just
kidding.
driving the back roads, and a lot of the songs on my records are inspired by just those simple things. A girl's car in high school that I wrote about, or my grandma giving me a $20 bill to stick in my shoe for emergencies or things like that.
Yep.
I think just taking those little simple things and trying to express them and share them and connect with people. I think that's what it's all about, is the connecting with others. And I think, technology has its positives, but the negatives are it's kind of pulling us apart a little bit instead of
Yeah.
and taking away that connection.
It does. It does feel like it's created a little bit of a division. And there's not so much as in the middle of the road on things. And these songs, songwriting has always amazed me because I have no idea how you do it. And there's probably two questions in this one question I'm about to ask, but the first part of it is, I can listen to a song, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, whatever it may be, and you can be like, oh yeah, that's me. I connect to that song because it was a story that was being told,
Yeah.
and storytelling definitely helps. But I'm always like, how do you guys as songwriters tell a story that I think that's my whole life, and how do you do that in 3 minutes? And it feels right. I'm like, I don't think I could ever do it, but I'm too much of a gabber. I talk and talk and talk. Somebody's got to narrow it down for me. How do you do that?
Well, a lot of editing. Some of my favorites are Guy Clark. Guy Clark was really big in editing music and editing his songs down. Um, some of mine get pretty long to tell a story. I try to tell a story in a short amount of time as possible, but I kind of have that Bob Dylan effect going on for a while, where it
Well,
takes
that's not such a bad thing there,
takes
you
takes
know?
about 8 or 10 minutes to get my point across. But I started writing songs in like high school study hall just for something to do. I needed something to do and kind of want to express myself a little bit. And at the time, I didn't really have a lot of life experiences, so I made up stuff.
Right.
But as I got older, the songs and became a little more true, and I started having life experiences, and I think it really started coming out in the writing more. It's less fiction and more like
Yep.
things that are real in my day-to-day life and things that I experience. And it's kind of just, as luck would have it, other people experience the same things you are. And that's
Exactly.
that's back to the north of I-80, south of I-80 thing. It's two different worlds, but we're all sharing these experiences such in life,
Yeah.
whether it's personal or things that are going on in our country or around the world.
I agree. So let me ask you this, just to kind of piggyback off that a little bit here. So when you start to write a song, then, and maybe it happens different ways at different times, but are you thinking of, is there an emotion that inspires you, or is there a scene that you've pictured that's happened in your life, or does it all start with like a melody or a tune? I mean, where does this songwriting start for you?
For me, it used to start with the words, but most of the times these days, I'll just be pulling out my guitar and I'll start playing it and I'll start humming a melody. And if I think that's going to be something funny about overpriced beers, or if it's going to be something about deers that can fly, then I'll
Right.
know right. I'll know right away if the melody is like fun, or I'll know right away if like the melody, like in a minor key, is going to be about loss and something a little bit darker. So I think it starts with the melody and the mood these days, for sure, for the most
Right.
part. Yeah.
Well, good deal. Good deal. Because it's always a question I've always been interested. And I'm like, do you have just words that come to your mind and you write them down? Or are you just sitting there strumming something? You're like, hey, I got some words that might go well with it. I mean, especially the songs that tell a story and have an impact with somebody, not just something that's a good beat or does whatever. So that's kind of great to know. Kind of starts with the melody for you.
Yeah, and I really didn't have for this new album I didn't really have a story song yet, which was kind of my signature, is having a story song. So I went to Delavan, and I just started driving around. And usually, it doesn't take long for inspiration to happen. All I have to do is go to my hometown and drive around, because that's kind of what we did in high school. And I started thinking about all the cars that I owned in high school, and realized pretty quickly none of them were song worthy. So I started thinking about other people's cars in high school.
Yeah.
There was a girl named Tina Hart. She had an 85 Mustang. It was the coolest car in town.
Yeah.
And she drove it better than any of the guys around. So that's kind of where that story song came from. And then it just kept rolling. And I just kept going through all these scenes in my head, reminiscing about my small town. Going through my yearbook in my head, which isn't hard because there's only 38 of us in our whole class. So
hey, I had 28, so you're well ahead of me.
Yeah, we used to have tractor day in high school too. Did you ever have? I don't know if you ever.
They
had
still
tractor.
do that. Matter of fact, that it's about a month away from that. Everybody's going to drive their tractor into school.
Yeah, that was always fun.
Your new album, I think. Maybe 3 songs maybe out that can be downloaded or anything like that right now.
Yeah, it comes out March 6th, but we have 3 singles out. One's called Peshtigo, one's called Mattress, and one's called Great River Road. So we have 3 out currently.
Peshtigo was the one I was listening to, and I know this is probably only me, and I may be way off base, but I thought, how ironic, because right now in this world that we're living in agriculture, things are tight, margins are tight, prices of items are expensive, product prices are cheap. And it reminded me of, this right now reminds a lot of guys of maybe what was going on in the 80s when the Farm Aid concerts and everything started. And that song, did you say Peshtigo?
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a feel, when I was listening to it, it had a feel of John Mellencamp's Rain on the Scarecrow when I was listening to it. And I'm like, I just kind of felt that. I'm like, man, this is the exact same vibe that song was giving me back in the 80s during the Farm Aids and all that stuff. So I thought that was incredible. And like I said, it could just be me, and I may be way off base with that, but I just kind of got that vibe.
No, you're spot on. I'll take that any day, I'm trying to be try to be the John Cougar Mellencamp of Illinois,
Yeah. Yep.
But no, his songs definitely hit home too. And yeah, that song was about a forest fire that happened many, many years ago in the town of Peshtigo, Wisconsin, right here in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And it was really mostly like a lot of a logging community, and people were going up there to try to better their lives and for opportunity. And there was a huge, horrific fire that killed hundreds of people and pretty much wiped out the town. And it happened the same day as the Chicago fire, which is why most people have never heard of it. So I'm always trying to shine a light on things that, most people overlook or haven't heard about.
I know they had mentioned possibly maybe hearing a little ditty that you got going. I didn't know if you were able to still grab a guitar or whatever you're going to play and maybe play a little something for us.
Yeah. So my grandparents, my grandfather passed away just shy of 102, and my grandma was 97, but my grandpa lived in the same farmhouse pretty much his entire life. And he retired from farming at the age of 85. And when he retired from farming at 85, he had his buddy down the road take over the work for him. He was 83. And and so I don't know. The barn was built in 1888, and I don't know. So I wrote this song for my grandparents. I'll probably just do like the first verse and the last verse.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just give us a little ditty there.
They said we were born in a barn, the barn my grandpa built. And every night we come inside and lie under grandma's quilt. Been working these hands, working this land, it seems ever since birth. hammering away in a factory or outside tilling the earth. My family works in a factory, my family works on the farm. We work in the farms and the factories, never work on a factory farm. My wife and my mom are both teachers, hard work and research. My Uncle Dan was a preacher, and Judy plays the organ in church. My grandfather served overseas, then farming became his life. Gives thanks on his 2 replacement knees, he retired at 85. My family works in a factory, my family works on the farm. Thank God for the farms and the factories, thank the devil for the factory farm.
Hey, that's some good stuff right there. I can't wait to hear it. I was looking at your tour schedule online, and man, that album comes out the 1st of March, and then you look like you're hitting the ground running March, April, and May with hardly a day off.
Yeah, I've got a band now. Instead of just hitting the scene by myself, I've got a band called we're called Chicago Farmer and the Field Notes.
Yep,
And
I saw that.
A couple guys from Chicago and a couple guys from Urbana. So a good mix of guys, and so we have kind of like this fuller sound now. It's still a lot of the same songs, the stories are still the focal point, but got a little backup now.
Here we go. Not to be corny, but why do some people consider farmers to be mean people?
Why is that?
Because they pull their corn by the ears. That's not
Pretty
too
good.
bad, right?
Pretty good. No,
I mean, I had a grandpa and maybe even a dad that would tug me by the ear every once in a while if I was misbehaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna share that with my nephew. He's gonna get a kick out of it, and he'll be sharing it all over school. So.
Well, there you go. Hey, Cody, this has been a great pleasure. I love talking to musicians and guys like yourself, and listening to the music and helping you guys get your work out there and promote it any way we can. So thank you very much. Hope to see you the 28th. So if you see that bald guy, shiny head, coming towards the front of the stage, he's a friendly guy, I promise.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me, and thanks for shining a light on what musicians do. And I love the connection. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll see you down the road.
All right.